Welcome. Today we're going to make a sponge cake, which means it is a cake where you use eggs as your leavening agent mostly. And in this particular version, it doesn't use any flour. So we'll see how it turns out. It's very important that you follow the directions precisely. Don't play around with the process or the ingredients or the quantities. Just follow it to the letter and you will have success. And this is a collaboration. We are in Croatia exploring their cuisine, so please do check out the videos and recipes of my collaborators. For this recipe, you want 6 eggs, you want 4 ounces of baking chocolate, you want some sugar, some baking powder, some baking soda, and some jam, blueberry or cherry. Take a cake pan, a little bit of neutral oil, I'm using sunflower oil, and then a piece of parchment paper and push it in. Then we're going to have a double boiler. I put water, I put the top part, and then I put a bowl, and that's hot water now. And in the bowl, I'm going to put chocolate. I'm going to break the chocolate up into smaller pieces so it melts more quickly. You do not want to melt chocolate over boiling water. You want to just do it over hot water, and it might take a while. Give it a stir every once in a while, but now it's done. So right now it's just come off the heat. It's 50 Celsius. You want it to get to 38 Celsius. You want a clean bowl, dry, and your whisk, and you're going to separate your egg. So give it a gentle wrap, gently pull apart the side, and then keep the yolk in the half of the egg and just slowly let the white drip out. And if your eggs are fresh, they will crack better. So you're going to do that for all the eggs. As you can see, one of my yolks accidentally escaped into the white, but it stayed intact because it's fresh and strong. With 2 spoons, I was able to get it out and save my egg white mixture. So here we have 6 egg whites, 6 egg yolks. I have my mixing bowl and I have my whisk attachment. I'm going to put it on high. And I'm going to whip the eggs for about a minute and then slowly dribble in the sugar, then give it 15-20 seconds, dribble in a tiny bit more. This whole process can take 5 to 7 minutes. You really want to whip the air into those eggs and really slowly dribble in the sugar. Do this exactly like I say. Don't rush it. Don't put in too much sugar at one time. Just give your mixer on high the chance to whip the air into those eggs. And I know you can't see it, but they have already doubled in volume, and they will triple or quadruple in volume by the time we're done, and they're getting whiter with all the air being mixed in. And then very slowly just keep adding little dribbles of sugar. That way the sugar gets incorporated into the egg white and it doesn't prevent the air from getting mixed in. So this process is long, 5 to 7 minutes, but give it the time it takes. It's done when the egg white forms stiff peaks that do not dissolve, and that's what's happening. So the egg whites are now whipped and ready. Now we're going to give our egg yolks a good whip, and we're going to mix in the baking powder and baking soda and really give them a good whip as well, because you want to mix air into the egg yolk also. This is the only way you're getting lightness in your cake, is from the air you're mixing into the egg. So our chocolate has now cooled to 39 Celsius. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just add a tiny bit of my egg white into the chocolate just to bring it down 1 more degree. And it's very important that you don't mix the egg and the chocolate when the chocolate's too hot, because it will cook the egg yolk and then you will have curdled egg yolk and the texture of your cake will be awful. So I've just mixed in a tiny bit, and now I'm going to mix in the rest of the chocolate right into the egg yolk. Get it in there and keep whisking as fast as you can, as much as you can, and as fast as you can, because the chocolate is now cooling and it's getting harder. So it's really important to do this quickly. I added a little bit of egg white into the egg yolk and chocolate, but the bowl is too small. So now I'm going to get that into a bigger bowl and I will mix in the rest of the egg white. You want to be very gentle with this process because your egg whites are full of air. And if you get rough, if you stir too roughly, mix too roughly, you will lose the air in your egg whites. So put all your egg whites in there and then just gently stir the mixture together. And as you can see, I'm doing a technique called folding, where you just kind of put the spoon under, lift it up, and gently lay it on top to mix.
Now my chocolate is too cool, so it's not going to completely mix in, but I'm fine with that because we will have nice chocolate chunks in the cake, and I love chocolate chunks. Now I've got it in the pan. I'm just pressing it to the edge of the pan and making it flat. I had this great idea to do a snowflake decoration on the top. However, stay to the end of the video for my decoration fail. So I fold it into 8 times, and then I'm just going to cut circles, semicircles, triangles, whatever shape I can cut all around. And as you can see, once you've done this enough, you end up with a pretty snowflake. So, great idea so far, but we will see. The cake is now come out of the oven, and give it at least 5 to 10 minutes to cool in the pan, just like that. Don't touch it. Now it's cool, but the top is sticky. So I'm just going to see, is it ready to come out? Yes. It's not falling apart when I lift it up. I'm putting a piece of parchment paper on top because the top of the cake is sticky and I don't want to have it stick to this plate. Put a plate on top and flip it over. That's the first flip. There's one more coming. Now we get the pan off and let it sit for another 10 to 15 minutes. Then when it's really cool, I take a knife just to lift the paper off a bit and then very gently just rip it and pull it off. This cake is very delicate. If you get too rough and fast with pulling off the paper, I speeded this up, it took much longer than that, you will break your cake. And I also used a fork to just kind of help separate the two. Once again, let it sit for another 5 minutes. You really want your cake to be cool. And the final presentation plate you're going to use, put it on top, flip it over, and once again, just gently remove your parchment paper. And now your cake is really done. Now we're going to add the decoration of the jam. I'm using blueberry jam. Traditionally in Croatia, they would use blueberry or cherry jam. Put on as much as you want. I'm going to put on enough to just cover the top. And I'm going to spread it to the edge, but I don't want it to dribble over the edge, so I'm going to just make sure that I don't put too much so that it dribbles. It's up to you. If you want to have jam on the edges, on the sides, that's fine too. Now for the decoration, a bowl, a sieve, and a little bit of powdered sugar. And I'm going to now put my snowflake on top very gently and just give it a light press. Then I'm going to press the powdered sugar on top just to give a dusting of powdered sugar, and do as much or as little as you want. Gently remove the paper, and I'm kind of bringing it to the center so that all that powdered sugar just doesn't go everywhere. And that's my snowflake. Not very good definition. Clean up the plate. And as you can see, it's only been like a minute and a half and already the powdered sugar is melting into the jam. So yeah, this was a decoration fail. It's okay, it's gonna taste good. But if I was doing this to present at a fancy party, I would remake the cake and do something different. It cut very nicely, smoothly, easily, and it comes out in one beautiful piece. So this cake is really easy to cut, and as you can see, it has those nice big chunks of chocolate. Let me see if I can show you the side. There you go. Let's give it a try. I've never had a sponge cake before without flour, but it's really good. Cake is delicious, and you can really taste the chocolate, and the jam on top is really nice.
I haven't done much baking since I went gluten-free over 4 years ago. And one of the things that I forgot is that the egg yolk needs to be in a really big bowl, because you must mix the egg white into the egg yolk. So the time it took for me to transfer the egg yolk and chocolate into a bigger bowl allowed the chocolate to get cold and harder. So it was harder to mix it in. So the other key takeaway from this is, once you are going to start mixing your chocolate into the egg white and then the egg white into that mixture, you've got to work as fast as possible. But when you are mixing the egg white, don't whip it up. You've got to stir it quickly, but you want everything to be ready and mix as fast as you can. So this cake tastes very nice, and the chunks of chocolate are also very nice. You get variations in texture and taste. Now, it's not super sweet, so if you like a sweeter cake, then please use semi-sweet chocolate, but don't change the amount of sugar. And also the texture is a little different than a regular sponge cake because there's no flour. The texture's fine, but I think it would be a little lighter if there was flour. So I'm going to actually play around with this recipe and experiment with some gluten-free flours to come up with a variation that, and just see which one I'm going to like better. So those are my tips for you. I hope you like this recipe. If you do, give me a like, subscribe to my channel. I have a lot of gluten-free recipes on here, and I've got some gluten-free baking recipes as well as meals, salads, one-pot meals, all kinds of stuff. So check it out, subscribe to my channel, give me a like, leave a comment, and have a wonderful day. All the best wishes of the holiday season to you. May you have a joyful holiday and a healthy holiday and Happy New Year. But I will see you before then. So stay tuned for the next video and do check out my collaborators. They've got some really delicious stuff for you.